Good morning, students. Welcome to class 6, subject mathematics, chapter number 12, and the name of the chapter is ratio and proportion. This is our new chapter, so this is lecture number 1 of this chapter. Today's topics that we are going to cover in this lecture, they are ratio, equivalent ratio, and important points to remember about these ratio and equivalent ratio. So these three topics we will cover today: ratio, equivalent ratio, and important points to remember. Now see ratio. Ratio is the comparison of the sizes, or we can say measures, of two or more quantities of same kind by division. What is ratio? By ratio, we compare two or more quantities of the same kind. Okay, this comparison is done by division. If A and B are two quantities of the same kind in same units, then the fraction A upon B is called the ratio of A to B. If we have two quantities A and B, then A upon B is the ratio. It is written as A ratio B, read as A is to B. Thus, the ratio of A to B equal to A upon B or A ratio B. Again, I am explaining. If A and B are two quantities, we have two quantities A and B of the same kind. Okay, means units must be same. They are of same kind. Then how we will compare these two quantities A and B? By dividing them, by using a fraction A upon B. This is called the ratio of A to B. It is written as A ratio B. This is the sign of ratio. These two dots are the sign of ratio. And we will read it as A is to B. We will read it as A is to B. Thus the ratio of A to B equal to A upon B, or we can write down it A is to B. We can read it A is to B also and A ratio B also. We denote ratio using symbol this sign. This I have told you that this is the sign of ratio. The quantities A and B are called the terms of the ratio. We have two quantities A and B. These are called the terms of the ratio. A is called the first term or antecedent, and B is called the second term or consequent. Okay, these are the names of two quantities. We have two terms. We have divided A upon B. So A, which we have written first, is the first term. It is called an antecedent. And B, which is the second term, is known as consequent. For example, the ratio of rupees 8 to rupees 13 is. Now we are finding the ratio of rupees 8 to rupees 13. These two we have terms, rupees 8 and rupees 13. Now see, these both terms are, these both quantities are in same unit. Both are in rupees. Okay, it is not like this that one is given in rupees and another is in paise. So rupees 8 to rupees 13, which is equal to 8 upon 13. As I told you, we have to divide A upon B. So it is 8 upon 13. And 8 upon 13, we can also write it as 8 is to 13. This is in the form of ratio. As we are doing the chapter ratio, so we will not leave it in the form of fraction. Okay, we will convert it in the form of ratio. So it is A ratio 13. See the second example. The ratio of 13 kg to 25 kg is. Now we have to find out ratio between 19 kg and 25 kg. So it is A upon B, that is 19 upon 25. Now we will convert it in the form of ratio. So it is 19 ratio 25, or you can read it as 19 is to 25. See one more example. The ratio of 5 hours to 10 hours. We have two quantities now, 5 hours and 10 hours. Here also units are same. So it is 5 upon 10. Okay. And see, now we are able to convert 5 upon 10 into simplest form. So we always write down ratio in simplest form. It is 1 upon 2. 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10. And what is the ratio now? 1 ratio 2. Isn't it simple? Now important points to remember. What are the important points to remember now? That you have to keep it in your mind always while doing the questions of this chapter. Since ratio is a fraction, both of its terms, that is numerator and denominator, can be multiplied or divided by the same number. For example, what is there? That if we have one fraction where numerator and denominator is there, so we can multiply both numerator and denominator by the same number, as we have done in the chapter of fractions also. Okay. See, we have 4 ratio 6. We can write down it 4 upon 6. So if we are multiplying numerator by 3, we can multiply denominator also by 3. So it is 4 3s are 12, 6 3s are 18, which means 4 ratio 6 is equal to 12 ratio 18. Okay, this is called the equivalent ratio. So we can get equivalent ratio by multiplying numerator and denominator by the same number. Now see how we will divide it. 4 ratio 6 is 4 upon 6. We are dividing here 4 by 2. Here also we will divide 6 by 2. So our answer is 2 upon 3. Means 4 is to 6 is equal to 2 is to 3. Understood? In the first we have multiplied to get the equivalent ratio, and in second we have divided to get the equivalent ratio. So we can multiply or divide numerator and denominator by the same number. So we can get the equivalent ratio by multiplying or dividing the numerator and denominator by the same number. Okay? Next is the order of terms in a ratio is very important. What do you mean by order of terms? I have told you that first number is the first term and second is the second term. Okay, so this order is very important. See what is the order means? The ratio of rupees 8 to rupees 13 is 8 is to 13. This we know that 8 is to ratio of rupees 8 to rupees 13 is 8 upon 13, and which is equal to 8 is to 13. And the ratio of rupees 13 to rupees 8 is equal to 13 upon 8. Now we will write down 13 first, as the first term is 13. Okay, so it is 13 is to 8. Now you can see these two are different. 8 is to 13 is different from 13 is to 8. The ratio 8 is to 13 is different from 13 is to 8. So this is called the order of terms. If first term is rupees 8, then you have to write down rupees 8 first. And if second is given rupees 13, then you will write down rupees 13 in second position. Don't interchange the place. We can't change the place from our side. Ratio exists only between two quantities of the same kind. This we have learned in the definition also. For example, there is no ratio between rupees 30 and 12 meter, as the units of both are different. Not only units, they are of different kinds. First is given in rupees, that is the price, and second is meter, that is the length. So we can't compare price with length. Okay, kind must be same. Next, it is meaningless to compare the weight of one child with the height of another child. Clear? This is the explanation of the above only, that we can't compare that the weight of one student is 45 kg and the height of another is 150 centimeter and we are comparing them. No. If we are comparing the weight, then we must have weight of both the children, and if we are comparing the height, then we must have height of both the children. We can't compare one child weight and another's child height. Sometimes the quantities may be of the same kind but may be expressed in different units. It happens sometimes. You must convert them into same units. Usually, the bigger unit is converted into smaller unit. For example, see, first of all, let me explain you. Sometimes the quantities may be of same kind. Means kind is same. We are comparing height, then height we are comparing of both. Okay. Or if we are comparing weight, we are comparing weight of both the children. But may be expressed in different unit. But units are different. Means if you are comparing length of someone or height of someone, one student height is given in meter and another student height is given in centimeter. Okay, so same kind is there. Kind is same, that we are comparing the height. But units are different. One is in meter, another is in centimeter. So you must convert them into same units. We have to convert both meter or centimeter into one unit. Usually what we can do? We convert bigger unit into smaller unit. Now see the example for this. If the height of Ramu is 1 meter and the height of Raju is 80 centimeter, then first convert 1 meter to centimeter. Now see in this, Ramu's height is given in meter and Raju's height is given in centimeter. Okay, though we are comparing height only of both the boys. Okay, we are comparing height of both the boys, but the units are different. One is in meter, another is in centimeter. So what we will do, we will convert this 1 meter into centimeter. We will convert bigger unit into smaller unit. How we will convert? We know that 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. So what is the height of Ramu now? Now ratio of their heights equal to 100 upon 80. Because now Ramu's height is 100 and Raju height is 80. Okay, so we will cut from 10 to 10, 10 से 10 cut हो गई. What is left? 10 upon 8. Reduce it in simplest form. 2 5s are 10, 2 4s are 8. So its ratio is 5:4, or we can read it as 5:4. Ratio has no units. Keep this thing in mind. In any question we have not written meter, centimeter, kilogram or rupees. When we are finding the ratio, we will not write units with them. Ratio has no unit. Ratio, being a fraction, has no units because the units in the numerator and denominator cancel out. Why we are not writing units? Because in numerator also if it is there, okay, rupees 18, and in denominator also it is there, rupees 13. So from rupees to rupees it will cancel out. So we will not write down units in ratio. See some examples now. There are 45 persons working in an office. If the number of females are 25 and the remaining are the males, find the ratio of. There are 45 persons working in an office. In one office 45 persons are there. Number of females. Females means ladies. Okay. So number of females are 25 and the remaining are the males. Remaining means what? बचे हुए. Okay. बाकी जो बचे हुए हैं they are males, men. Find the ratio of. You have to find out the ratio of first the number of females to the number of males. Second, you have to find out the number of males to the number of females. These two are different. In A part C, number of females is the first term and number of males is the second term. But in B part, number of males is the first term and number of females is the second term. As I have told you, orders matter. Whatever is asked first, that you have to write down first. And the third ratio that you need to find is the number of females to the total number of workers. Let's see the solution now. See, total number of workers given 45. It is given total workers are 45. Number of females are also given, that is 25. We can find out the number of males. Number of males are 45 minus 25, that is 20. Remaining are females, na? So 45 minus 25 are 20. Now workers we have, females we have, males we have. Now we can easily find out the ratio. Ratio of number of females to the number of males. This is the first one. Females, number of females. How many females we have? This is females, 25, and males are 20. So we will write down 25 upon 20. 25 ratio 20. Converted into simplest form. You can do it by division also or directly while writing in the form of ratio. 5 5s are 25. 5 fours are 20 and in between ratio sign. See the second B part. Ratio of number of males to the number of females is. Now we have to write down male first. How many males we have? 20. And how many females we have? 25. So it is 20:25. Now it is 4:5. See, first and second, both the ratios are different. In first ratio is for 5 is for female and 4 is for male. And in second, 4 is for male and 5 is for female. See the C part. Number of females to the total number of workers. How many females we have? Number of females we have? 25. So you have to read the question very carefully, and if you have written all these three first, okay, all the information, all the data whatever is given to us in the question, if you have written this in first, then there is least chances of mistakes. So ratio of female, first you will write down 25 is to total number of workers are 45. So it is 25:45, and when we reduce it, we will get 5:9. Now see the second example. Give two equivalent ratios of 6:4. Okay, we have to give two equivalent ratios of 6:4. See the solution. Ratio 6:4. To this ratio we can write it as 6/4, and we know that by multiplying and dividing the same number, numerator and denominator by the same number, we can get the equivalent ratio. So once we have divided 6/4 by 2, numerator and denominator both. So we got 12/8. Therefore 12:8 is equivalent to 6:4. This is the equivalent. Now we can get another equivalent ratio by dividing it. Similarly, ratio 6:4 equal to 6 divided by 2 and 4 divided by 2, which is equal to 3/2. So 3:2 is another equivalent ratio of 6:4. Clear? Means how we will get the equivalent ratio? By multiplying and by dividing numerator and denominator by the same number. It is not necessary that we will multiply and divide both. We can get by multiplying it only also. Here we have multiplied by 2 now. Another we can get equivalent ratio by multiplying numerator and denominator by 3. See the next question, next example. Divide ₹60 in the ratio of 1:2 between Kirti and Kiran. Now see this question very carefully. You have to divide ₹60. Okay, this is the total rupees in the ratio of 1:2 between Kirti and Kiran. Means if Kirti is getting ₹1, Kiran will get ₹2. In this way, you have to divide ₹60. Two parts of the ratios are 1 and 2. These are the two terms of the ratio 1 and 2. We will find out their sum. Their sum is 1 plus 2 equal to 3. Okay, this is the first step. Now we can say that if Kirti will get 1 part and Kiran will get 2 parts. This I have told you, out of every 3 parts, because total parts we have 3. Out of these 3 total parts, Kirti is getting 1 part. See, first name is written of Kirti. So, first part is of Kirti. Second name is of Kiran. So, second part is of Kiran. So, Kirti will get 1 part and Kiran will get 2 parts. And total parts we have 3. So, Kirti's share is 1 by 3. Okay, out of total she is getting 1. But we are not having 1. Oh, sorry, we are not having 3. How many rupees we have? 60. So, 1 upon 3 into 60. See one more time. What is the fraction? Fraction is out of total the part that she is getting. So, total parts we have 3. And how much Kirti get from 3? 1. Okay, so this is like this. 1 out of 3 Kirti will get. But from rupees 60, because total rupees we have 60. So, it is 1 upon 3 into 60. So, she will get rupees 20. Kiran's share is, Kiran will get 2 parts out of 3. So, it is 2 upon 3 and the total rupees we have 60. So, 3 2s are 60 equal to rupees 40. Okay. So, Kirti's share is rupees 20 and Kiran's share is rupees 40. Now, see exercise 12.1. Question number 8. In a year, Seema earns rupees 1,50,000 and save rupees 50,000. Earning means income and saving means which she saved. Bachat. Find the ratio of first money that Seema earns to the money she saves. This is the first ratio that you need to find out. Second, money she saves to the money she spends. Now see the solution. First of all, we need to write down all the necessary information that we are getting from the question. First is total income that Seema earns. Seema earns how much rupees? 1,50,000. See, it is given here. Seema earns rupees 1,50,000. And how much she saves? 50,000. So now we will write down Seema saves rupees 50,000. If 150 she earns and saves rupees 50,000, then what is the remaining one? Remaining one is she spend. Spend means kharcha kar diya. So it is rupees 150,000, 1,50,000 minus 50,000 equal to rupees 1 lakh. These are all the necessary information that we have to write down first. Now we can find out ratio, these two ratios easily. First ratio that we need to find out is ratio of money that Seema earns to the money she saves. It is Seema earns rupees 1,50,000 and she saves rupees 50,000. See, I have not written here rupees because I have told you that in ratio we will not write down units. Units we never write. Okay. So, I have written only 1,50,000 is to 50,000. Now, don't start cutting it by 2. इसको 2 से cut करना start नहीं करना है. Cut the zeros. These 4 zeros will cut by these 4 zeros. Now see what is left. 15 is to 5. This is left. Now we can write down easily. It is 5 3s are 15. 5 1s are 5. So ratio is 3 is to 1. See the second part, second ratio that we need to find out. Ratio of money she saves to the money she spends. ratio of money she saves to the money she spent. She saves 50,000 and spent 1 lakh. ये हमने पहले निकाल लिया था. That's why we have find out everything in advance. These 4 zeros will be cut by these 4 zeros. So what is left now? 5 is to 10. Converted into simplest form, 1 is to 2. 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10. See that C part? Okay, 2 parts are there. Now your homework is, do exercise 12.1, question 1 to 15 in fair notebook. All the complete exercise you have to do, but you can do question number 3, 5 and 13 in book also. Okay, these 3 questions you can do in book and rest questions you have to do in notebook. Thank you, students.